Hey guys, this is just a quick update on some of the horror films I've been watching this month. I only have 6 movies, which I'm kind of disappointed. There's not that many days left in Halloween. Today's the 27th, so I guess I got 5 days to watch me a ton more movies. Some of the films I haven't shown in any update videos, but the first title I did show in my last update video, and that's Rec 3. I did enjoy this movie. I did hear a lot of mixed things. I think this is the kind of film that's going to split people down the middle, especially fans of the first 2 films. Um, the first 2 films were like in the found footage genre, and this one starts out that way as well for the first 20 minutes, and then it takes a shift into like a regular movie. And at first I thought it was really going to bug me. Like, this one takes place during a wedding, so it would make sense that people would have video cameras, and that's kind of like how this one starts out. You got the wedding photographer doing his video, and then you have one of the cousins or something doing his own video at the wedding and going to the reception when the whole demonic virus thing breaks out at the reception. Um, this one isn't as good as the first 2 Rec films, but it is better than the Quarantine sequel, which also, broke from the found footage subgenre of horror, only in the second movie. So I did enjoy it. This one is a little bit silly too. There's a lot more humor in this one than there was in the first 2 movies. Some of it even kind of it's a gory film, and it's kind of like in the same vein as like a Dead Alive and Evil Dead 2. So I would say probably you should rent it before buying this one to see if you would like it. Another thing about this DVD, this movie is only 80 minutes long, but there's a making of. Actually, it's a documentary, which is like based on the running time that I saw when I hit display. It was like 112 minutes, so it was like almost 2 hours. So it's actually longer than the actual movie. Right. This next one I just picked up last week, but I didn't show my last update video. The next, Excision. This is a really weird movie. Originally I thought this was straight horror, but it's not really quite straight horror. This one is actually kind of a mixture. The film that this reminds me the most of is May, and this girl here, Anna Lindman Cord. Actually, I think that's her down here. The cool thing about this cover art is you can switch it up one way or the other by just turning it around. But I guess this actress here, she was in the reboot of the 90210 series. The funny thing too is she's a lot prettier than they make her out to be. I guess she was also the badass assassin in the Transporter 2 as well. But they made her look kind of really plain. She stars as this repressed teenager who lives with her family in the suburbs, but she has these bizarre fantasies, usually dealing with lots of blood and sometimes surgeries and dismemberment. And then she wants to be a surgeon. And her younger sister, she has cystic fibrosis, and she's going to need another set of lungs, but she has this delusion that she's going to be this great surgeon one day. And then she also has other weird quirks about her. This is a really good film. It's funny. It's not really scary, but when she has her fantasies, they're really gory. I would say check this one out. And Tracy Lords plays her mother, and she was really good in it. It was kind of weird, like, especially since she used to be an adult actress, and now here she is. But she was really acting. She acted really well in this one, And the cast is really good. John Waters plays a priest, and Ray Wise is also in it from Twin Peaks and the second Jeepers Creepers film, and Marlene Matlin. She's the hearing impaired actress that used to be in The L Word. She plays this woman that's running a cotillion. She's actually really funny in this as well. But I'd say check this one out. Okay, next up, we have Piranha DD, but I think it's supposed to be 3 double D. The thing about this joke is it's really like talking about like the breast cup size. So like in theory, they just might as well like title this movie Piranha 3 double D. I mean 338 double D. Is what I meant to say. Um, I watched this one just the other day as well. I didn't mind the first remake that they did. Well, the one prior to this one. There was also another. There was a '90s remake of Piranha as well with William Catt, but I mean like the last theatrical one. I think the William Catt version went direct to video. Um, the first Piranha 3D, I would say, is the best film ever. If I was 15 years old, because like the nudity and the gore, and Piranha 3D had a lot of great gore in it. This one has some gore in it too, but this thing was directed by the Gulaigers. What's his name? Not the Gulager, but John Gulager. His son, I mean his father, is Clu Gulager, who was the older guy in the original Return of the Living Dead, and he was also in the Feast movies, all 3 of the Feast movies. And I think he has the cameo at the beginning with Gary Busey, where there's 2 guys in the swamp messing around or whatever. This film, like the thing is, I really loved the first Feast movie, but the sequels were kind of crass, and then this movie kind of goes in a crass kind of way as well, where there's a couple scenes in there that really didn't make any sense, but they just wanted to be like, aha, because they really couldn't top the first movie, so they just went ahead and went more crass with it. And I'm sure you guys have seen the trailers, and you know that David Hasselhoff is in it. And was in it more than I thought, and he was actually okay. They kind of made him look like a douche in the commercials, but he's less douchey in the movie. This one I would say maybe rent. I got this for cheap, otherwise I wouldn't have it in my collection. Alright, my next watch is Dead in 3 Days. I think this is a German film. This one kind of reminded me a little bit of a mixture of Friday the 13th Part 1 and 2 and I Know What You Did Last Summer. Because the kids in this movie, they just graduated high school and they get this text message saying that they'd be dead in 3 days. And then of course, you know, the killer shows up and starts knocking them off one by one, you know, in 3 days from when they got the message. This movie I thought was okay. I thought it was decent, but the problem with it is it got to a certain point, like 3/4 of the way through, and then I think the writers, they painted themselves into a corner. They didn't know how to put the kids back into danger, so they had the kids do stupid stuff so they can kind of kill them off. But other than that, I did enjoy this movie. And there is like, it's weird because there was like I think 5 kids in the movie, like 3 girls and 2 guys, but one of the girls has a crush on one of the other girls, so there's also hints of lesbianism in it, which I thought was kind of interesting. Alright, let's switch this one up here. Next we have Reincarnation. This is part of the After Dark Horror Fest. I think this is the first year it came out, I think like 2006 or whatever. This film was directed by the guy that made the Grudge series. But despite this cover art, this isn't one of those creepy ghost girl with the long hair type movies. This one actually deals with what the title says, Reincarnation, where this guy went mad sometime in the 70s and slaughtered a whole bunch of people, and then, you know, like 30 years later, I guess the ghosts come back for revenge. This one is okay, but it does have what I like. The ghosts, they don't really look scary, but there is like a creepy doll that was like kind of cool. In fact, they should have just went ahead and scrapped the whole reincarnation bit and just went with the creepy doll. I would have preferred that. Alright, next up, we have another After Dark Horror Fest movie. This is from The Last Line in 2011, and this one's called Seconds Apart. The Last Line, I guess, I don't think they're really doing this series anymore, the 8 films to die for type of stuff or whatever, because this series only had 6 films. I have half of them now. This what did I pick up? I showed in the previous day, Prowl and Husk, which they were decent. But this one here, Seconds Apart, is really really good. In fact, it's one of my favorite in the entire line of the After Dark Horror Fest. And this one's about is like two twin brothers who have like the special power. It's like kind of telekinesis, but they also have the power of suggestion where they can make people do what they want and make them experience anything that they want just by suggesting it. And they're also psychic because they can read your mind and know what your greatest fear is. Um, this film has a really nasty tone to it, pretty much all the way through. Um, it's okay. It's not really gory, but there's one really cool scene where they make two people stab each other, which I thought I really enjoyed. Another weird thing about this movie is it stars Orlando Jones, who I think he used to be on Mad TV, but he was in what's the name of the Evolution movie with David Duchovny, and they used to have the 7-Up ads where you go make 7-Up or make 7-Up yours. I don't know if you guys remember that. That was back in like 2000. But he plays a guy, a detective, who had just recently lost his wife in the fire. And in fact, they did like really good burn makeup on him because he has slight scarring on his face from trying to save his wife. I would recommend picking this up, especially if you can get it for cheap. You know, Walmart usually has these for cheap after so long, like $7 or whatever. But I really enjoyed this one. It's probably in my top 3 in the After Dark Horror Fest stuff. Alright, now on to my last watch. And that's 3 Slices of Life. I know you don't see the 3 there, but these little thing here is like supposed to be like Roman numerals, or like 3 slashes. This is an anthology movie. I guess it was made for really, really cheaply, and it really does show. I guess I should get into the stories. Basically, this girl in the wraparound story, like she wakes up and she has amnesia, and she's laying on the front lawn of a seedy motel. And there's basically only 2 people in the staff, like some weird woman and like some hickish handyman. And basically she's working the front desk, and every so often she'll pick up a scrapbook and it'll have a story, and like it breaks down into 3 books. One says work life, the other one is home life, and the last one is sex life. So she starts going through them, and each one we start to see the story that goes with each book. And the first one is work life, and it kind of it's kind of a mixture of David Cronenberg's Shivers and Videodrome, where this guy, he's working at this computer place, and somehow he gets a hold of some kind of nanovirus, and what ends up happening is all the people become infected with this virus, and because he was going on some kind of those sexual sites, the people become like sexual crazed zombies, although they look more like demons. That one was like so-so, and like the acting is really piss poor in that one. The second one was Home Life, was entitled what was it, Amber Alert, and it's about this single mom who's, her husband's a detective, and there's like a child murderer out there, and she starts getting visited by the ghosts of the dead children, and they seem to be after her unborn baby. Well, she's pregnant, so yeah, unborn baby. That one is all right. There's a twist in it that you'll see coming from once the story starts, and it's not even that great of a twist. And then the last story is Sex Life, and this one's about like a young couple that are staying with an abusive uncle, and he sexually assaults the girlfriend repeatedly, so they hit him on the head because the guy actually walked in. I guess he's been doing it for a while in the story, but they flee, and they run into this young farmer, older farmer, and he's got a young daughter, and he's got her locked up in the basement for reasons that you'll find out in the story. There's a twist with that one too. That one will probably be the most popular story for people that watch this movie, but this one I would say, if it's on Netflix, watch it there, but in terms of paying money for it, I wouldn't say to pay any money for it. Unfortunately, I bought this used. Hey, that's it for my watches, and hopefully I'll get some more horror movies watching in before Halloween. I got 5 days, so hopefully I can knock another 4 or 5 movies out. Alright, thanks for watching, guys, and until next time, I'll talk to you later.